Welcome to the North and Mouth podcast. First of all,
What the fuck are you doing? Welcome to the North and Mouth podcast. First of all, don't forget to subscribe, which will keep us doing what we're doing.
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, iTunes, Spotify.
And today we're talking about nonces.
Speaking of nonces, this week we have a special guest.
nervous laughter. I'm sweating. I can't sweat, but
This week we are joined by Flaky Pastry Rob. How are we doing?
one time. I have a child. I have commitments.
Wow. First on the agenda, Arron Banks and his Twitter hack. Did you happen to see any of the things?
I read the news story. I didn't see any of the messages yet.
There were. I think it did get. I think it was because it was out for 12 hours. Apparently, he was complaining that they'd let that happen, which I can kind of like, because obviously Twitter is notoriously lefty.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like it's almost like they've gone. Let's
leave that up.
Leave
Sort
this up
of,
for a bit.
but he released a statement blaming Twitter for their obvious lack of security. It was his password that got hacked at the end of the day. And taking no action to remove the illegal data downloads. Well, it weren't hosted on Twitter. You couldn't download it from Twitter.
True, but there were. I did catch some bits. I did see the one. I think you might have mentioned about the.
There was one tweet where a guy had sort of like mentioned a couple of the different messages that had been sent. I think the words "Northern Monkeys."
Northern Monkeys, yeah.
Yeah.
It basically said, and he'd been sent to Dominic Raab.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
the one.
I don't know who that is.
He's a bloke with a funny name.
True.
But yeah, it was something about who cares. I don't mind about losing out to some Northern Monkeys. Talking about Northern Monkeys, I am outnumbered by Northern Monkeys today. So
2-1.
Yeah.
2-1.
2-1.
So yeah, it does make me wonder whether that was allowed to happen because he's not of that. It just makes you.
It could have been. Then again, I don't really understand how Twitter works.
It's not 1997 anymore, Jack.
No, it passed me by, Twitter. Really did. I've got one. I think I retweeted something in 2015.
So, do you actually have a Twitter?
Yeah. At Mr. Stead, if anybody, for whatever fucking reason, wants to follow me, I think.
Did you know we have a Twitter?
Yeah, you use it. I don't.
Yeah. Any abuse that goes out is normally
directed at you.
Well,
you usually respond to people.
Yeah, I quite like a fight with people sometimes, especially
small man syndrome.
Yeah, we've had like people. It was you when we were talking about Carol.
Yeah,
we had when we did. I've forgotten his fucking name. Tom McDonald. You ever heard of Tom McDonald?
No.
We'll fill you in.
Loyal fan of the show.
Yeah.
Rob. We did about 4 episodes on Tom McDonald.
Yeah. Do you think? I know I keep going back to it, but do you think that would be an issue that they allowed? Because it was people were posting and they were banning people who were retweeting pictures of it. Because our mutual friend, Dr. Flake, I think you'll know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. I remember
Throbert. He was apparently banned for 24 hours.
What, for retweeting one
for,
of the tweets?
For retweeting, yeah.
The thing that's a problem with the hack and things like that is anyone can take the information and manipulate it and just make it as utterly ridiculous as they want to.
It was a bit weird the way... I don't know if you saw the picture, the thing that said about the Northern Monkeys. It was all like weird sort of code and stuff. But I love the fact that he'd said all this shit and then Dominic Raab, I forget, he's in the cabinet as far as I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'll Google him later. I'll give you a lowdown.
He basically just turned around and went like, thanks, Aaron. Yeah, great. Thanks. Yeah.
What? Just not taking him on?
No, I think it was weird. I mean, I would like to see what the other ones were like, but
you can probably download them. Definitely download them. It says on this news article that the file is reportedly no longer available online. That's not how the internet works.
No, once it's on the internet,
not how the internet works.
They're just getting rid of the links from Twitter.
Yeah.
That's all. 12 hours later.
I'll be interested to read what some of them were. Not that I'm not risking downloading it.
No,
I'm not that interested. But
no, I think there was a thing that went out saying that if you did download or retweet anything like that, it's basically a criminal offence.
Yeah, they say that about downloading movies and.
think
streaming
I think
live
it's.
sport events.
I suppose this is private information.
People's iCloud accounts were private. No one got arrested for downloading that, did
What?
they?
Yeah, I vaguely remember something about
Something
that.
about
Yeah.
iCloud accounts.
A few years back, yeah. I think all this comes down to terrible passwords on Twitter, because I reckon Mr. Arron Banks, his password will be pretty easy
It's
to
just
guess.
Northern Monkeys.
I was
Yeah.
just saying,
It's
fuck
gonna
the
be
North.
fuck Europe.
Yeah, fuck you.
Get me
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if his password was leave.eu.
You're talking about UKIP.
Yes. Policies for the people.
Racist
the UKIP
Rob.
Manifesto. Believe me, I'm not racist. I just thought that it was really interesting because I wanted to go for the shock factor. So I've highlighted 8 points that we're going to discuss today.
Okay.
Really brief. First one obviously being Brexit.
Yay.
One being immigration. It gets worse. Energy is the one that I really want to talk about. The environment. And then we get into sexual exploitation and paedophile gangs, which is legit.
I feel like there's not many parties that will have that on the first page of the manifesto.
Not many offer that, do they?
I mean, it's a big issue.
English identity and issues, free speech and political correctness, and then combating Islamic literalist and fundamentalist extremism.
Okay.
That's a
Also
mouthful.
part of the manifesto. So we're going to skip straight to point 18, which is being stuck pre-Margaret Thatcher. Bless her cotton socks. I'm glad she's dead. So energy is the first thing we're going to talk about because they have some really interesting points on how they'd like to... outside the European Union, UKIP will remove 5% VAT levy on domestic fuel. So,
That's good.
yeah, I mean, it's great because obviously we've not fucked the environment enough. UKIP will scrap the Climate Change Act of 2008, which requires the UK to achieve annual decarbonisation rates of more than 5%. But that'll save 722 billion over the next 40 years, which is wonderful.
And that'll go straight into NHS, I imagine.
Yeah, too right, yeah.
Directly in there.
Vote Leave, you'll get 500 million quid. UKIP will end subsidies for wind turbines and solar voltaic arrays, will support renewable energy where it can deliver electricity at competitive prices. UKIP would seek to rejuvenate the UK's coal industry, wherever that is
Are
possible.
we growing some more coal?
Bring back the fucking mines, because we've not absolutely...
The Northern Monkeys will like that.
I would have thought that they'd have tapped most of their mines dry before they closed them.
Yeah, I think they did, but
Yeah.
it's just one of those. That was the decisions that they've
Do they have a point on that fracking that's big at the minute?
probably really enjoy it.
Yeah,
All
I think
about
they
the
would as
fracking.
well, yeah.
Let's get the oil
Massive
out.
into fracking.
And the gases and stuff like that. Immigration, temporary immigration for workers on work permits and students will be both strictly controlled and time limited. So basically you've got an expiration date, which is fine. Mm-hmm. Migrants will not be able to claim public housing or benefits until they have been a tax-paying resident in the UK for a continuous 5 years.
If
And
they're
then-
allowed to stay for
If
5
they're
years.
And if not,
5
we
years.
send them back to Bongo Land.
Bongo,
it's-
bongo.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I looked through it and quite frankly it was terrifying, mainly because of the title, sexual exploitation and paedophile gangs. I mean, you don't need rocket science to work out where that's going.
Yeah. Nonces are bad.
Rochdale.
Rochdale, yeah.
Don't go to Rochdale.
Yeah. Or Prince Andrew's house. But that's a topic for later on.
He doesn't like to do it at home. He tries to take them
yeah.
all to Pizza Express instead. But yeah, I mean, like animal welfare, they don't give a shit about that. Children and families.
Well, I'm sure. I bet they have some interesting views on animal welfare. They like fox hunting with dogs
Yeah,
and
exactly.
horses.
They literally
which
don't care.
Even I don't like
They're just
that.
gonna kill them all. Like
Yeah. What, migrants or animals?
both. They're not gonna hunt foxes on the back of the horse.
Right, so when you finish reading Mein Kampf, that you've kindly printed off for us there,
Yeah,
what,
I mean, you can imagine it was really awkward when I printed this off at work and the front page was policies for the people. And then at the back,
It looks even more sinister that it's in black and white.
Yeah.
because they don't care.
I bet there were a lot of red and black on that when it were...
No, it's all purple, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's their colours. And then Don't just hope for a better future. Vote for one.
It sounds pretty terrifying that people are actually going to vote for these.
Yeah, that was the worrying thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if these win some seats.
It'll be more Brexit Party probably this time, won't it?
Yeah, Big Nige.
Big Nige.
Loves a pint.
He loves a pint.
Where's
He
he
is
from?
a man's man.
Do you know where he's from?
London.
Don't know actually.
I don't know.
He is very
Just
yuppie-esque.
Borough in London.
He did
It's not
run.
that big of a
He did
place,
run in
is it?
South Thanet.
Is that next door to your idol Jacob Rees-Moggs jurisdiction?
It's actually on the other side of the country.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is it? I thought you'd know.
Big fan of Moggy.
Yeah, he loves him.
You're horrible.
Oh, he likes Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah, I'm not against him.
Jeremy Corbyn's a man of the people.
Yeah.
Of course he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Yeah, if
He's not
everyone's a
oblivious.
terrorist.
He knows how to eat a sandwich. Terrifying policies.
I think you should take some time to read up on it and actually...
Yeah, I don't want that in my
properly.
search history.
No.
That's not the
you
sort
don't
of
need
thing.
It. It's printed out. It's literally in black and white.
You've done us a coffee. Well, they would like it in black and white.
You would.
Yeah.
But
Mainly the white
Mainly the
part.
white bit.
Yeah, mainly the white part.
there'd be no black.
No.
Tibby bar, boy, moi.
Right, so for WITS this week, or What Is This Shit, I picked a belter of a song. It's called Escape Wagon by Versatile, a pair of rappers from Dublin, Ireland. And it's featuring Coolio, not from Ireland, obviously.
He's from the Gangster's Paradise.
Off of Gangster's Paradise, yeah. I quite like this one. It's grown on me over the course of the week.
Okay.
How many times have you listened to it?
Quite a lot.
All right.
Okay.
Several.
Balaclava man.
Yeah, holding a ninja sword.
Why not?
You should bring yours.
As a guard.
Oh, they're white. Oh, God.
Did Coolio always have pigtails?
Yes.
Always.
Has he?
Yeah, always. He has special hats.
Is this real as well?
Yeah,
This isn't.
yeah,
This is
he's called Casper.
chocolate starfish.
You could definitely see bicycle spokes. You look confused there, Rob. Should we just pause a second?
I just don't understand a fucking word he's saying. His accent is so
The best thing I
fucked
heard
up.
was getting me bullocks licked.
Yeah,
that was
Licking me ballocks.
I never gave a bollocks about politics because all I ever wanted was my bollocks licked.
bullocks.
Bollocks.
Bullocks.
Yeah.
No, this is dreadful.
There we go.
It's not.
Fuck me.
Yeah, the guy, that guy in the yellow on the left is called Casper.
Okay.
The other guy's called Eskimo Supreme.
Eskimo Supreme.
That's how white.
Yeah, but it's like he's cut holes in his cap so he can have his shit little pigtail sticking
He has
out.
another hat later in the video.
Oh, great.
Titty's fat.
That's his other hat.
Can I? He said, gave me gangster dick. Do you know what I've said this before when they have these videos. They'll always have.
Yeah.
They're always in a council estate, but they're still in like a great car. I never understand.
I love that this guy in his Under Armour jacket's brought his kids. He's like, come on, kids, gonna go see Coolio.
And
a
the
shit
good
Irish
car
accent.
is his escape wagon.
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
Insert mind blown gif.
That's a bad hat.
It's my favourite one.
There was chocolate starfish there, wasn't there? Also, lighting it with a
A match.
match. It's a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit
Bit
much.
So you're supposed to light a cigar.
Not with one of them, you're not.
No, big, nice big lighter.
You can buy special matches for him.
Not like that. He's got a fucking
It's a big fucking match.
big fucking match.
Have you heard of the Rubber Bandits?
Yeah, I
Yes.
like the Rubber Bandits.
Yeah,
That's what this is reminding me of. It's just not as good.
It's similar sort. This is better.
No,
These
it's
are-
not.
These have got like 4
'Cause-
albums.
No, fuck your Honda Civic. There's a horse outside. That's my
Fuck your
jam.
Honda Civic, there was a horse outside. Yeah,
I
I
want to
remember
sniff
that.
some glue and stuff. Like that's actually interesting. Eskimo fucking Joe over here.
Supreme.
Eskimo Supreme with his ski goggles on. It's fucking June in Dublin, the dickhead. Me escape wagon.
That's Eskimo Supreme.
I didn't actually get this far.
Yeah,
I just can't fucking
Problem.
cope. It's like what?
we're in the last couple of verses.
Oh fucking hell. Pass me the lyrics.
I like that lyric.
You sit me like a Capri Sun.
Yeah. that
Considering we've been
that
talking
lyric's
about
a
Jeffrey
Nonceness
Epstein,
divide, yeah,
fucking
to be fair,
no,
yeah.
Prince Andrew all over this shit. He's a ghostwriter for him, isn't he?
She dropping low and she's teasing, man. But we can never look up who freezing, man. Daddy, please understand. Your fella wants to go as he bleeding, man. With two keys in my hand. One is fireman, the other's from my wagon. My escape wagon.
I like that.
My escape wagon. My escape wagon. Now watch me disappear when this rave is done.
I think my favourite bit's this next bit.
What did he say?
Rings End.
Rings End, the Compton of Europe.
Drink some syrup. The Compton of Europe. Can we have a quick Google search for where Rings End is? Rings End.
That's also a good song of theirs.
Yeah,
So,
well,
pretty long-term.
are you gonna-
That one's great. Ketamine, that one's called.
That's just called ketamine.
Yeah.
Well, what did you? Hang
Yeah,
on.
we'll watch
What-
that.
what-
We sell
what-
brown.
That's also good.
So we sell
What did
heroin.
you think?
Yeah. What do you think of a skate wagon?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I fucking detested it. It was horrible.
It's not that
I think
bad.
pity pat, hard on the kitty cat. Triple X got the pussy gushing on a kitty mat.
Right,
Like,
now
what is that?
Coolio is not known for his lyrics.
No, he's not, is he?
No. That's maybe
He
not a good
give me
example.
gangster dick.
he on that gangster shit.
It
He'd
did go a bit
he'd give me
homoerotic.
gangster dick.
What is gangster dick?
Dick from a gangster.
So basically, Coolio's talking about getting gangster dick.
I think that's the way it went, because he also said, I've got a clit somewhere in that verse as well.
Of course he has. What?
Sleep with a young one if I know she's not filth. All day sitting on me hole. No
guilt.
No fucking guilt, man. Pity pat. Hard on the kitty cat. So basically, they fuck each other and he fucks cats.
Apparently so.
Jesus.
So there were a news story this week that caught my eye. It was the story of the 65-year-old man who died in the job centre after being declared fit for work.
Have you ever been in a job centre?
No.
I have, briefly.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Have you?
Yeah.
Fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
I got made redundant and spent about 3 months out of work, and going into this place, it was like a fucking jungle. It was ridiculous. There was just shit
Like
going.
bongo.
Bongo. Land. No,
what
it
you're
was
trying to
all.
say?
No, it was carnage. It was just there was just like there was so many. I thought it'd just be like one small little waiting room and people would just be going in and out, and it
No, there's people everywhere.
was fucking rude. Like, it was like floors and floors, and there was. I
It was
went.
on like a Thursday morning at 9 o'clock as well. Something ridiculous.
I just went when I got told to go, but
Yeah,
I went up to this
stupid.
certain level, and it was like a when you get a big open like when we used to work in the big office,
Oh yeah.
an office that big with like single tables and a shitload of benches, and you just sat there and you waited for him to come over and
Processing.
yeah, and there
Yeah.
were people that I was sat there for ages waiting. You do feel like
Scum.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think I was the only person there in shoes.
Yeah.
So what did he actually die of?
It didn't say. It said that he was diabetic. Now, I know some diabetic people. They don't just die on a regular basis.
Because then you wouldn't know many diabetic people.
No,
Yeah,
this is true.
exactly that.
Do you think once they do that, I think they're waiting for someone to go and they go, oh, let's just scrub him off.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Saved
that's
it.
Steve gone.
Saved £50 a week job seekers there. Now, I get that, yeah, he'd been deemed fit for work and then he died, and those two things might not correlate, you know. Pilots die, and you wouldn't say a pilot died shortly after flying a plane. A bus driver died shortly after driving a bus. Because they don't correlate. The fact that he was 65, that should be retirement age.
Yeah, it should
Really. Like,
Should
if you find yourself out of a job at 65, if I were employing people, I ain't taking on no 65-year-old.
You don't know whether he's been unemployed for donkey's years as well, though.
That is true. That is true.
Did it not mention anything about?
I think it did. I think it mentioned that he hadn't been out of work massively long because he were going to set up his job seekers after they deemed him fit to work.
Right. He just couldn't drag out. He couldn't drag it out
I think
anymore.
he'd become ill. Apparently his mate said he was seriously, obviously ill.
Right.
And he'd tried to claim disability for the last couple of years of his working life and
Right.
been deemed fit to work and then died.
Do you? I'm surprised you haven't gone off on a Conservative rant. This is what happens under a Tory government.
All right, yeah,
Oh, it is, because an investigation by Disability News Service earlier this year claimed that 5,000 people died within 6 months of being found fit to work since the Tory government come in.
That was between 2008 and 2017. It was a 9-year gap, but still, 5,000 people is a lot.
How long have Tories been for?
Too fucking long.
Yeah.
Too fucking long.
And 17,000 claimants for personal independence payments have died before the Department of Work and Pensions even bothered to make a decision on the claim.
It is carnage in there. It is weird. Like, you go in and, like, I've always worked, and that was the only time I'd ever been out of work. And I thought it's kind of there for people when that kind of shit happens, or you're kind of, you know, you're not. There's people in there that have obviously been claiming for yonks, and they've never worked, and they're getting that. And I was in there, and I'd been set. I got. You know, it's demoralising when you get fed up of sending CVs. You send like 40 or 50 of them a day.
Yeah.
It gets to that point, and I'm thinking, I'm going in there going, so what have you done to, you know, to warrant it? Never got a penny. And I was and the reason they gave was that I hadn't built up enough credits or something from the year before because of the date that I got made redundant. It wasn't like because of the tax year or something.
But if you'd have never worked...
Yeah, how the
you'd have
fuck
got
do you build
full
up
whack.
credits?
Interesting fact as well. The Department of Work and Pensions don't pay out to people that have parents that receive a widow's pension either.
I didn't know that.
Any like single parent child tax credits or anything like that basically means that you're
Exempt.
yeah, you're exempt. So, oh, sorry, you lost a parent when you were young. It was extremely traumatic, but you're getting fuck all from us.
Yeah. Enjoy the food bank. Also on the rise since Tories come in.
Yep.
Just pointing that out.
Labour minimum wage £10.
Yeah.
Oh,
£15 if you want to work at McDonald's, apparently.
Fucking
Fucking idiots.
What was it that it worked out as? A 37.5-hour week at £15 an hour was like 29
28, 29 grand, yeah.
And it's like, I will literally go and fucking work at
I'll flip
McDonald's for
burgers
30
for
grand a year. That'd be mint.
Yeah.
McDonald's would be bankrupt.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it'd be sick.
Double cheeseburger.
You said I could eat your food,
yeah. Big Mac would be 15 quid.
Can I have a portion of fries? How many fries do you want in there? They're £1 each.
Yeah. This job centre thing, though, like I said, it might not correlate, but 65's too old to be working. I mean, you two work in offices, you might be able to do that job till you're 65, but you're both working some sort of advertising. You'll be well out of touch by then. You'll be old as fuck. Nobody will give you a job.
No.
Will there?
I
bet there's nobody over the age of 55 in either of your offices doing advertising work that isn't a senior position.
I'm not going to mention any names, but I'm sure the grey-haired man.
Pete.
He's definitely over 50. He's old as fuck.
Could be.
I don't know.
I imagine they're a minority, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's a very, very small portion of people that are probably over the age of 55.
Yeah, so when you two get to 55 and they go, right, sack these old fucks.
Put me out to pasture
Yeah,
so you can
get yourself to job centre.
Is that going to be your job later on in life?
killing all.
Is that your retirement job? Yeah.
Euthanasia of
Yeah.
elderly people is a dream job of mine.
That's what a Labour government would bring in.
Yeah, it'd be great, fantastic. But yeah, it could happen to anybody, and like I wouldn't want to be looking for a job at 65.
No.
It's an impossible situation. Like a supermarket won't give you a job at 65.
Do they send you for a medical? Because
My mum used to do the assessments.
Is that if you've come off of like? Because surely that would imply that maybe there was a medical thing that they need to clear beforehand. Because I didn't go for a medical thing.
No, but this guy's applied for.
He's applied for disability
benefits.
previously.
Oh right,
Yeah.
I see.
And then they've turned around and gone, nah, there's nothing wrong with you. Or nah, you're ill. Yeah, fucking get back to grindstone.
It's a bit intense.
It's not though. It's what they did. Dude, 65, diabetic, dying.
Get back to the
dying
job
on his feet.
No,
Literally died. Oh no, he was
sat
sat
down.
at
I bet there was no vending machines either in there.
No,
was there?
I don't
I
know.
don't remember. I
I've
don't
never been in a
remember
job
seeing
centre.
vending machines.
What's a vending machine got to do with it?
Yeah.
So I could get.
I don't know, some sugar.
If you're on benefits, you shouldn't really be spending them on vending
I
machines.
mean, it's 70p for a chocolate bar these days. It's
Yeah.
excessive. Tory government, though, isn't it?
Yeah, Tory government.
Oh yeah, well, it's in the Labour manifesto that they're giving away free whispers.
Jeremy Corbyn's going to sell Mars bars for 50p. He promised me.
Yeah, of course he
told
is.
me.
Yeah,
Saw him in the co-op.
of course he
yesterday.
is.
There was a quote that I liked, and it must have been taken out of context. It just said, "The job centre is all shut down now." And that were it. There were no context.
It's all
to
shut
the
down
quote.
now.
It's all
Yeah.
shut down now.
Yeah, I think it must have been somebody that were waiting for the door to come out. Job centre's all shut down now. Shut down, no job centre.
Where's my money?
Yeah, but yeah, it's a sad situation. It should have never really happened. Really,
No, but I mean,
if the Tories stay in, they might as well just change it to retirement age death.
so Prince Andrew,
The Duke of Nonce.
the Duke of Nonce. Where the fuck do you start with this one?
Well, to be honest, I don't really know who he is. I know he's the Duke of
Is the
York.
Is the Grand Old Duke of York?
What relevance does that have to anybody? Like, why does he have this?
Charles's brother.
Is Charles his brother?
Yeah.
Oh, is that really?
He's 8th in line to the throne, I think it says in my notes.
Wait, so is
He was married to Fergie before.
Fergie?
What, out of Black Eyed Peas?
Oh God, you've really shown your age, haven't you? You pair of fucking children.
Fergalicious.
I think the monarchy means more down south, because when the north abdicates, we're not going to bother with it.
No, I know.
Yeah.
We don't want fucking royalty.
in the fucking
Bring back my coal mines. Labour said they're going to grow them for me.
That were UKIP that would have real.
Oh yeah, well, either or. I'm
Yeah.
sure Labour will fix it.
Yeah, so the whole... He was mates with Jeffrey Epstein, who
Yeah.
didn't kill himself.
Did he kill himself?
No, he definitely didn't kill himself.
All right then. Hillary
and he-
Clinton killed him.
He flew quite a few times to the private...
To a few places. There was the island, and there was a place
There
in
were
New York and stuff.
The
like
island
that.
full of nonces on the... What do they call the plane? The Lolita Express?
Oh,
Something like that, I think they named the plane.
In the Virgin Islands.
Yeah. To basically to have sex with kids. That's basically, definitely, absolutely 100% what's happened here.
But there's so many things in that. Did you watch the actual the interview?
Didn't watch the full one because it was an hour long and it looked very boring.
It was literally just a blithering idiot. Through
Yeah,
the
did you
whole
watch
thing.
the
Yeah,
whole
it
thing?
was,
Yeah.
it was absolutely
It
horrendous.
was painful to watch because it was like you know when because he's never had to really deal with general kind of conversation with people that aren't going yes sir, or
Yeah.
anything you want. You know, like when you say to a child who stood next to like you've probably had it if like knocked over some I don't know, dropped some chocolate milkshake granules on the floor and you've gone what have you done there and they go
Weren't me.
weren't me.
Nah.
No.
Jeff Epstein? Who's
yeah, he did.
No. No,
Did you go and do this? He just looked like a frightened child being caught out, and he was really just like, no, didn't do that.
Yeah, but do you know why? Because he was shitting his pants and
course
he'd
he
been
was,
caught
yeah.
out for being a nonce.
The
But he
picture.
wasn't sweating.
No, we'll get to that. There's a picture of him with the girl. I forget her name.
Yeah, quite an intimate picture
With his arm round her, Virginia
Roberts, yeah.
Had his arm round her.
When she was 17.
When she was 17, yeah. And he's going like I have no recollection. But then
He quite handily recollected eating Pizza Express 18 years before on this date.
He recognises himself in a photo, but not his hand. His words were,
Yeah.
"We can't be certain as to whether or not that's my hand or hers or whatever it is.
It
left
definitely
side.
was.
But
his
it's definitely
hand.
me and it's definitely her.
Yeah.
But
Nobody
I've
can-
never met her.
But
Yeah.
no one can prove whether or not that photograph has been doctored. But I don't recollect the photograph ever being taken.
However, 18 years ago, in 2001, I did go to Pizza Express.
Well, he did
It was
say.
March the
Do you know
10th.
what? I think he kind of held himself back at one point because he said, because that picture was taken upstairs, and oh shit, I'm revealing too much.
Yeah, I have been in that room.
yeah.
I did have sex with that 17-year-old child.
One thing that was very evident was how, because of his upbringing and the way the royals are and everything, when he said that when he went to New York and he stayed with Jeffrey Epstein, he said something. They said there was a load of people coming and going, and
I
young
thought they were
girls. And all
staff.
stuff. I thought they were staff.
Yeah, there's a lot of people walking around Jeffrey Epstein's house. A lot of kids being raped.
Yeah.
But he just thought they were staff. Yeah, because everybody has staff.
And he did say all his staff walk around naked.
Yeah,
So
they're all children. Yeah. I quite like the fact that he said Jeffrey Epstein had quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming, is what he said. No, he's a nonce. All nonces. Yeah, big old group of nonces.
Yeah. Right. What got me thinking, because I didn't know a huge amount about Jeffrey Epstein anyway, but
Did you know he didn't kill himself?
I didn't know that.
He definitely didn't kill himself.
Well, this is what I'm getting to. So he goes to New York to see him
Yeah.
after he's already been convicted and served time.
Yeah.
Goes to him. Now, just from me watching it, because I purposely didn't look into the history, I wanted to kind of just see his recollection of events and
his
see.
car crash of an interview.
Yeah. And then he said, so he went to see him and he was there for a few days, and his excuse was, I basically just wanted to
It was
say,
a convenient place to stay while I was telling him that.
I didn't want to see him anymore.
Yeah.
But then, did you ever think that it's like he's been convicted? He comes to see him, goes, "You're not going to mention anything about me being there, are you? Because that'll probably go pretty bad for you if you did."
Mm.
And then what happens? He dies.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first time that the royals have been involved in a assassination attempt.
Or in a
yeah.
car crash of an interview.
Yeah.
Or just a car crash.
Yeah. Do you think in them 4 days they had one last swing on a 16-year-old and under, or what? Because they didn't leave the house in the 4 days, from what I understand.
And he looked. Do you know when they had the video of him and
He was looking out the door, looking really suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it were a convenient place to stay. I mean, he's a royal. He's got more money than he could possibly spend. He could rent a hotel.
Yeah, but he couldn't find children in the hotel. That's why it was a convenient place to stay.
Yeah, that's where all the nonsense
We're saying today how if you'd when they said, "Do you regret your friendship with him?" Like he could have said something like, you'd have probably had more respect if he'd have said something like,
Yes, it was
like-
a mistake. But what he actually said...
No, but he could have turned around and said something like, "Well, I don't regret it because I didn't know what he was up to. So like I enjoyed his company and blah blah blah." But he didn't
was a
say
nice
that.
man.
He didn't say that.
No, what he said was, I do not regret my friendship with Jeffrey Epstein because the people that I met and the opportunities that I was given to learn either by him or because of him were actually very useful.
It just doesn't sound good for him at all, does
Nonce
it?
lessons.
It doesn't
What he's
sound
saying.
good for him.
What else is he saying there?
Like if somebody had said that about Jimmy Savile, and it said, "I don't regret my friendship with Jimmy Savile, the nonce, because he taught me how to fuck children." That's basically what he said, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's alright, Jeffrey Epstein. He taught me how to fuck 16-year-olds and get away with it. That's basically what he said, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love that you've scribbled down
Nonce lessons. It does say nonce lessons on board. And he said that he was in Pizza Express on the night he was accused of having sex with a 17-year-old girl, because obviously you can't do both.
No, not the fact
Teenagers
that,
hate pizza.
yeah, and also the actual party. It didn't go on like during the day, and it wasn't like at night that he was there.
Yeah.
of thing. But
yeah.
that
It was
didn't
a
happen.
He was in
Child.
Pizza Express at 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so
like,
obviously...
he had
That's
a
it
lot
for
of
the night,
time
yeah.
for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But when he was listing all of his things that he didn't like to dispute that picture and a few other things, I wrote them down here. I don't drink. I don't sweat.
Fucking don't even get me started on the sweat.
I only go out without a shirt and tie, or if I'm there. There were what I would describe as my travelling clothes. He's not
Travelling to non-silent.
he's not a hugger.
He wasn't hugging, so it's fine.
And the sweating thing, it's almost like someone had prepped him before and say, just be very vague and say you've got some sort of medical condition and you can't sweat. And he just, when they said she said you were sweating profusely. He went, oh yes,
Actually,
I remember that. Yeah,
in the Falklands.
in the Falklands
I
when I
was
was a war hero.
Yeah.
I was scared. And
I had the inability to sweat.
Yeah.
Forced upon me.
I didn't sweat at the time because I'd suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at, and it was almost impossible for me to sweat. I'm pretty sure any doctor would be able to turn around and say, no, it's changed.
Yeah. Look at him, he's sweating now.
He's sweating.
He's literally dripping in sweat.
I did think, you see those massive lights when it panned back and showed the massive lights. I do wonder if they'd purposely got as big a fucking lights as possible.
Let's see how hot can we make this horrible nonsense?
Why has that man got a hairdryer? He's just fucking blowing it on him like
Fuck
that.
me, the heating's on it.
But then he did cover himself, in all fairness, and it's only because I've done a number of things in the recent past that I'm starting to be able to do that again. Do that again is sweating.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
because
now he can sweat again.
Yeah, conveniently after he was being
Yeah.
a nonce.
Now he's found out that he is a nonce.
But it's like he was sweating
he's being
profusely, and
accused.
he could have just said, "Well, I wasn't there, so I clearly wasn't sweating profusely."
Yeah,
But no, I can't.
I'm
sweat.
not capable of sweating, and I'm like a Lego man. I only wear a suit and tie or a shirt, which is my travelling clothes. I couldn't possibly do anything else. I wouldn't socialise with the rabble without a shirt and tie.
Who was this Jeffrey Epstein, other than a nonce facilitator? Does anybody know what he was? Facilitator.
It's a
Because
facilitator.
he were invited to Princess Beatrice. Who the fuck's Princess
Beatrice,
Beatrice?
his daughter.
Oh right,
Jeffrey
okay.
Epstein's daughter.
Yeah, because
She would have
just
been.
fucked
Yeah.
yes, like he were invited to her 18th birthday party. Like, what sort of position in society do you have to sort of have to be invited to royal birthday?
Wasn't he
parties?
already? Is there was an arrest warrant out for him when
Yeah,
he
at
asked
that
him
time,
at
when
that
he
time,
was
and,
at the party.
and they questioned him about that, and he turned
Yeah.
around and just went,
I didn't know.
I wasn't aware at the time. Now, wouldn't he have been a bit like that? Bearing in mind that the royals do an unbelievable amount of checks on anyone that goes within like 100 miles of the royals. To invite them to a fucking royal party, and you're telling me that this potential at the time paedophile was
it's going
coming
to a
party.
child's party, basically. It's all backwards, isn't it? Like the amount of people that have been indicted in this, and he has been killed to cover it up. Because
Didn't they say something about there was a bone in your neck
that you can't break by hanging yourself, but it were broke.
They snapped his neck.
All the cameras that were watching that area just conveniently stopped working.
It's almost like
The police were all on a
when they
break.
weren't.
Police were all on a break when he killed himself, even though he was on suicide watch.
A prolific paedophile, like literally one of the biggest sex offenders of our time, but the police all took a break at the same time. The cameras all conveniently stopped working, and then he managed somehow to snap his own neck. But he hung himself. Good one.
Well, I've got this sort of vision of this happening, and then there's like an open door, and there's a silhouette of Prince Andrew going.
Yeah.
Just one nod and away he goes.
No.
Or the Queen.
No, yeah, the Queen, not Prince Andrew, the Queen.
Kill that bastard.
Why was she American?
I don't know.
Kill him! Get him, Charles!
Get him, Charles.
Fucking Mickey Mouse.
Can you imagine?
Get him, Charles!
Can you imagine sending Charles in to deal?
Better off sending him Prince Philip.
Yeah, probably just
The racist.
But it's a ridiculous situation because even he admitted that his answers were ridiculous. Because he were asked, would he be willing to testify, give statement under oath, and he said, I will be duty bound to do so. And then he said, if I was in a position to be able to answer all these questions in a way that gave sensible answers, other than the ones that I've given, that gave closure, then I'd love to do so, but afraid I can't. Because he'd be admitting that he nonced up these kids and be a different situation altogether.
Well, as of today, I think he has he's stepped out.
Yeah, he's stepped down from whatever the
public,
fuck he does.
Yeah, public
Fuck
stuff.
all.
Because every like charity and everything was just severing links with him completely. So I think he's gone off.
Pizza Express have banned him.
They've stopped at. It's wonderful.
The Google reviews,
or TripAdvisor and stuff.
I did see some of them. Yeah.
I love visited
people.
on March the 10th in 2001. I was like, oh, fucking hell.
I do love people sometimes when shit like this happens. The funny shit comes out.
Yeah.
The best stuff comes out, like the memes and everything. But I love the fact when the Pizza Express thing came out. Why would you remember being there? Because it's not something I usually do.
Well, I went to
because
Pizza
I'm
Express
not
and woke
very
up for
unusual.
I'm
fuck's
not
sake.
a pleb. That's
Yeah.
why. I mean, surely they can they go back and check CCTV?
Not from that long ago.
No, they only
18
keep it
years
for
ago.
like a month or something.
18 years ago, was it? 18?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
2001.
wasn't it? She's like 30 odd now. The lady.
Beatrice.
Well, no.
No.
The other.
Virginia.
Virginia
Yeah.
Roberts. Yeah.
But the woman that was interviewed him, Mateless, she attempted to sort of like settle the matter. And she put, for the record, is there any way that you could have had sex with that young woman or any young woman trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein in any of his residences? And once again, he literally insisted that there was not, though this time he provided a meditation on sex in general. If you're a man, it's a positive act to have sex with somebody. You have to take some sort of positive action. And so therefore, if you try to forget, it's very difficult to try and forget a positive action, and I don't remember anything.
Yeah,
was just-
no, I didn't have sex with a child. I don't remember.
He might as
having
well have
sex
just
with a
gone. I've
child.
not wanted, not
Maybe-
done, not.
Maybe I just
Definitely
didn't
not,
enjoy
actually
it.
not. Probably might have done. Not really, actually, not done that.
Well, it wasn't very good, so I forgot.
Yeah. Another member of the Royals,
Due to dying in a car crash.
stricken from the record. I imagine he will be.
He won't be a Knight of the Garter for much longer, will he?
Think he'll die in mysterious circumstances
I don't
soon?
know.
They
Jeffrey
don't
Epstein
kill
didn't
their own.
himself.
No.
They kill their extended.
Ah,
You marry into them.
you married. Yeah.
Is he actually like a blood royal?
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Well, fair. He's all right then.
He's safe.
I wonder how many of the others are nonces.
Oh, Jesus.
There'll be in Jeffrey Epstein's diaries that I'm sure will
What-
come to light. I'll download them.
Well, I feel like any
Fine,
second
man.
we're going to get like a red light just appear on
Yeah,
one of our
Doy's just going to
foreheads.
get kicked through.
It's like, we fucking found them, boys.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen if we carry on saying the nonsense. They're not nonsense.
No, they definitely are nonsense. And Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Prince Andrew. Is Prince Andrew in it? Yeah, definitely involved in that.
I'll just fucking double check.
Definitely involved
Just
in
fact
that.
check, sorry.
Thanks for watching the latest episode of the North and Mouth podcast. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to head over to our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram feed, you can see all the stuff that we're up to. Not that much, it's just talking and shit.